Hi there. What we're going to be doing today is talking about how to zero your run on a RacePack drag data logger, and that can include a V300, a Sportsman, IQ3, drag logger, things like that. The whole idea is when you re-zero it, you want to be able to make it something that's repetitive, something that is going to allow you to compare runs to other runs. And because that's so important, you want to make it that it's starting at the same place. So the only way to really do that is to use your XLGs. And if you use, I've heard people using drive shafts, it's no good because you need 2 magnet strikes before it starts. And depending on the rollout of your tire, that's going to make a difference. I've also heard use the trans brake. Well, what if your trans brake starts playing up and that either the timing from when you let go of the button to it releases gets shorter or longer. So that's not repetitive. The car is going to react the same way every time you launch it. So these are the words from Ron Armstrong, who was one of the founders of RacePack. Use the XLGs. Here we are with the Pro Stock demo enabled and shown on the Datalink 2 software. What you'll see is that it has got 0 points, and it's got a half a second back, and it's got a 10-second run. The best thing to do, as you can see that up here on the right hand side, is that you're not seeing, the full trace. So what you want to do is you want to come across here till you see the auto scale, which is on the left. You should place it above it, and we should get a little auto scale come up. When we auto scaled it, we now see all of the data on the run. And as you can see, it goes out there to basically 90 seconds. That's quite a piece. I know you don't need all that, but it's good to have all of the data. So what we want to do to zero it, let's go and clean this up by getting rid of the engine clutch. And we are going to bring up the G meter. And we're going to get a color that we like, green. That's perfect. Now we want to zoom in on where the G meter goes and takes that abrupt move heading north. So to zoom in, you place your cursor above and to the left, hold down your right button and drag a window and release. And you can see here, there's absolutely no argument about where the G meter is starting to launch. You'll see here in the green trace exactly where the G meter starts rising. It's no argument, very easy to find. You'll see all of these little bits and bobs doing things. That's the car just moving around, and well, you've got it on a 2-step or whatever. Ignore that. This is the important part, right there where you see the cursor. So what you want to do is left click to bring your cursor line up to it and arrow across. Till you see it move. Yes, you can see the numbers here. It's saying minus 0.1, but ignore that. Just look for the G meter to skyrocket. If need be, you can move in even closer with another zoom, and you can see that's not quite where we want to be. There's exactly where we want to be. but that was a minuscule movement. To set the 0, come over here till you see the set start time, which is the green button with a T. It will tell you that you're going to move it by 2.37 seconds. You don't care, so click OK. And at this point, we jump from being part of the auto scale view to being in the 0 to X scale. This is one that you have set up yourself, and it is set up here in the settings, in preferences, and 0.5 minus 0.5 to 10 seconds. If your car runs quicker than that, remember, give yourself some leeway. As you can see here, the run is over and done with, but you've got all of the data that you want. So now you can see the XLGs, you can see the RPM, you can see that the RPM is dropping very slightly as the clutch grabs it, and you can see that the 0 time to the drive shaft actually starts to move is a little bit, there's a little bit of space. And that's because back in the days that this run was data logged, there were only 2 magnets. Depending on where the magnet is, it's either going to strike the sensor very quickly, or it's almost going to be 180 degrees out. So, as I said earlier, it needs 2 magnet strikes, so 1, 2, and then what's going to happen is it says, I know that the car is moving. And that is why you cannot use that. If you had a trans brake input that you would actually see to the left of the 0 point, it would be set at a 1. It would drop down to 0. If you come from that trans brake drop, from when the power is leaving the solenoid, it no longer has power, it's no longer energized, and take a measurement from that point to the drive shaft starts to move, that is your vehicle reaction time, which I'm sure many of you are aware is a very important thing. That is going to tell you whether the car is consistent or not. If that's moving around, and if it's moving around by quite a bit, there is a reason. So use your data logger not only as a tuning tool, but as a diagnostic tool. As Ron Armstrong once told me, for every change in data, there is a reason. Remember that and find out what that data is. And good luck your next race. Try this out and remember to 0 this every time. When you come out and close the file, it will ask you to save the changes. You will click yes, and that is the change that has been made to the file, and it will always open up with that zeroing having been done to that run. So thanks very much. Go and subscribe. It's here somewhere. Subscribe button, and come back and watch for our future videos.